All right. So, welcome back to my channel. It's been a few weeks, but I'm here. And I just wanted to come on and talk about the fact that it is my relentless year, right? And so I wrote a whole little blurb on my threads and just overall was aware that I wanted to go into this new year with intention, a goal set, just like all the people, say that they're going to do at the top of the year or just before the new year starts. And you know, quarter one is about to come to an end, um, since it's March 15th already. So we're halfway through the month. And I was like, this would be a good time to reflect on where I am in terms of my goals and if I've actually made any progress since I think that there's some type of date. I don't recall what the specific date is, but there is a point in which most people who do goal set like completely fall off of their goals. And yeah, I have been making a lot of strides towards mine, but I'm wondering, how does that look? So again, my word of the year was relentless. I just realized I just came on here just yapping and I didn't even say my name. My name is Sharita. This channel is called Sustainably Sharita because I am trying to build a sustainable life, not just in the sciencey sense of sustainability, although I am a sustainability practitioner and a renewable energy strategist and stuff like that, but I am very ambitious and I always have an idea and I always have energy to do this, that, and the third, and want to pursue a million different things. And in my experiences, I have actually burnt out in my corporate roles or in social activities and really don't want to repeat that ever again. And my goal is to practice and to change my habits and change my mindset around being an ambitious person and pursuing different things. And so this channel is supposed to be my way of chronicling my shifts in mentality and lifestyle and all my attempts at trying to create this beautiful sustainable life and this beautiful life in general. And so today I wrote down a few questions because I obviously will continue to come back on here and do my little live streams to my zero attendees. But yeah, I wanted to talk about what this year has looked like for me. So again, I chose the word relentless because I felt like I was not getting ahead in so many of the goals that I wanted out of my life in the last few years. And it was because I would get, you know, I would get fed up or feel discouraged or feel tired or unmotivated or didn't have a system that would allow me to continue to pursue whatever goal it was that I was pursuing. And eventually I would give up. And so this year I wanted to really target specific goals, such as being consistent in general, exercising, working out, growing my business, um, being more visible. But I wanted to attack them and be relentless. And so some habits that I have built and that I feel like I've been successful in kind of tweaking this year have already been in terms of consistency. So just yesterday or today, actually, I hit my 31st day in a row of stretching. And that feels or sounds like a low milestone, but like as somebody who did not previously stretch every day or stretch every month, really, um, doing anything for 30 days in a row is a lot. And I'm really proud of that. And so just thinking about like small steps leading into bigger steps, understanding that stretching every single day is a small feat, but something that actually matters and is going to build up into me walking every day and working out every day and understanding how to manage my body and to take care of my body and practice self-care every single day. That has been a win for me. And so I would definitely say in the arena of self-care and physical fitness, I've been making those strides. Now, I did say it was only 30 days, and we're clearly more than 30 days in 2026. But a reminder to self has been to try again. And so I've been working on staying the course and then restarting or getting back on the horse if needed immediately after, and not just weeks and weeks later, or I'm going to start again at this specific date. Like, no, if you mess up, you start back again as soon as you can, meaning ideally the next day or immediately after. Um, but yeah, that has been something I'm really proud about as it relates to being relentless in pursuit of that physical fitness. Another thing that I would say is reading and just being more visible and stuff. So I have put out a number of YouTube videos on YouTube this year. I'm really proud of that. And that was an area that I really struggled in prior years because to be honest, I am not a big fan of social media, but something else I struggle with is just pointless information and pointless conversations. And so one of the reasons that I find myself not posting as much or writing as much on LinkedIn or blog posts is because sometimes I feel like I have nothing to say and or nothing of value to say. And I have such a strong aversion to doing that or to just saying things or posting random things because for me, when I see content that it just seems aimless or just random or maybe, frankly, it's probably just not targeted towards me and that's why I receive it this way. But it's hard for me to convince myself or to feel confident like the information that I'm sharing is of value, the thought that I'm having is of value. And so I've only posted, I'd say about like 5 or 6 videos this year. And that would be inclusive of my live streams and my shorts or the, unique shorts. But that is definitely more than last year, which I'm proud about. But that is an area where I can grow and improve. And so moving forward, I was scrolling on my own YouTube feed and then I saw this girl talking about something random and she was on live. Never seen this girl before. And it just reminded me like there is a niche for everyone. She had people commenting on her live stream as I think she was like combing her hair and talking about something random. I can't even I came out of the live pretty quickly after, but it reminded me that sometimes practice looks like doing things in a way that is not as neat and clean and packaged. And so my goal was to be more visible and be heard and seen. And I'm not going to be able to come on here every day onto every platform and be profound, although that is my deepest desire. I want to be able to incite thoughts and unique points of view and all the other stuff, but every day doesn't have to look like that. I think I just need to be practicing. Um, my main goal, which is to be more visible and seen and heard. And so for that reason, I felt like, you know what, girl, get up and go and get on the live stream, even though nobody's here. And so here I am. And so from that, I will say I haven't been the best at that particular goal of like showing up and speaking out and all that other stuff, but I will continually be just talking because this is me practicing. Because like I said, y'all gonna see me on the TV, on the news somewhere, um, making a difference. And so it's important that I am, practicing for those opportunities as they show up. So yeah, expect another live from me. Ideally every Sunday. That's me crossing my fingers if that is something that I can stick to. But every Sunday you'll see me on here talking, practicing public speaking. Check me on my next interview. Another thing. Oh my gosh. So one of my goals was also just be consistent in general, but something that I've really been working towards is reading. And so I used to love reading when I was a kid, but as an adult, like you just find so many different things that take you away from reading and learning unless you're in a structured educational program like college or university getting a degree or a certificate or something. And I feel like I found the cheat code to that. And so I think there was a morning where I woke up just before my alarm was going to go off. And um, I didn't quite know what to do with myself just yet because I was like, oh, I'm so comfortable in my bed, but I don't want to go and start my day just yet. So I had my book that I have been carrying this book around for like a year and change now because I was like, oh, I'm going to read this book. It's called Crude Nation by Raul Gallegos. And I bought it because as an energy specialist, entrepreneur, energy enthusiast, I was like, I need to know about the backstory about the Venezuela oil situation thing. And this is before the whole Maduro capture thing that happened this year. And so I started leaving the book near my bed every night. And so I wake up, not sure what to do with myself that morning. And so I just pick up the book and started reading. Y'all tell me why, since doing that, like making reading the first thing that I do in the morning has been such a game changer. I swear I have gotten through more pages of this book in the last week than I have in the last year and change that I've been walking around carrying it from state to state to country as I'm saying that I'm going to read this book. And so I would say that like finding out switching up your systems or breaking the loop as that like viral sound says, breaking the loop can really like expose you or not just expose you but show you a new way to get the success that you're looking for. I have been wanting to read this book forever. And it's only now that I'm like, okay, this is the first thing that I'm doing in the morning. I'm super comfortable in my bed, but I'm going to read this book, even if it's just 10 minutes. I am almost done with the book, y'all. And the thing is, I love to read. It's not like I don't want to read. I see book topics and conversations happen online every day. And I'll look up a book and I'm like, okay, I jot it down in my notes. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read that book. So I have a list of books in my notes app that I have just never gotten around to. And now I can see myself making steps into, being a reader more. So it's exciting. It's a very nerdy thing to kind of nerd out on really, but I'm just really proud of myself. I haven't read a full book in so many years, like just parts and pieces. Oh, hi. So the book is called Crude Nation by Raul Gallegos. I'll type it to you. And so what I was saying is that I bought this book sometime last year, and it was way before, the whole capture of Nicolas Maduro. And I wanted to understand the history of Venezuela and how the country came to, fall into ruin as it relates to their oil riches. So I'm Guyanese, and Guyana is the country immediately to the east of Venezuela. And so as Guyana, I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Um, I talked about it a little bit earlier, and I'll circle back to the health in a bit. But um, Guyana is getting more and more oil wealth, and I was like, how do nations that are now developing this type of oil wealth, how can they avoid that like resource curse that Venezuela experienced? And so I wanted to understand how it even started there, and so that's why I got the book. And so it's just ideal timing, I guess, or the timing has been really interesting that the information in the book is relevant to today because of the whole thing that happened with Nicolas Maduro. But as it relates to my health, I have been struggling in certain ways of being maintaining consistency, but I've realized that if my goal is something big, you have to do the smaller things, master the smaller things first, and then you can build onto the bigger things. So frankly, I have a weight loss goal of like 40 pounds. And that is like my high school weight. And I know that's not realistic anymore. I'm not a high school. I don't have a high school metabolism or maybe early college weight or whatever. But in any case, 40 pounds is not an easy amount of weight to lose overnight, unless you go under a knife, which I'm not doing. And so what I've realized is that, okay, what about if I could stretch every day? Can I commit to stretching every single day? And I just hit 31 days today of stretching every single day. And what I've realized is by the time that I get myself up to go and stretch and I've completed that and I'm like, okay, I did another day. I'm like, you know what? I could get on my walking pad for 10 minutes, or I could do a little dance workout. Like I love music, and just put on my music and just two-step, two-step. And so doing these small things have made me realize like it is the small activities, those building block things that help you to build the confidence and the consistency and the mentality around going a little bit further. And so I'm really proud of myself for, finding my way to that, to becoming the person who exercises multiple times a week and has, meets that huge weight loss goal. But for now, even though the weight loss has been slower, I can say that I'm proud of the fact that I do get up and I stretch every single day. And most days I'm walking. And so looking to the future, I know that's coming soon. My alarm just rang, and it wasn't because I wanted to end the stream, but I I was baking my lunch or baking chicken, and I was like, you know what? I got time. I'm gonna come down and record because I feel like it's important for me to practice this public speaking that I really want to improve at. Um, but just before I go back up to make sure that my chicken doesn't burn, I just want to say like how exciting it is when you do start making progress towards a big goal that you have. And so in starting small, and I know again the point of this live was to talk about, how I've been doing in terms of my New Year's resolutions and to hopefully include other people. Satya TF T5F3N. I don't know if you've been working towards any New Year's goals or resolutions, but I hope that you are taking stock of what you wanted out of the year and assessing where you are now that it's March 15th, and seeing where you could correct or you should pat yourself on the back for, because the year's not over yet. And that's why it was important for me to come on and do this live. So, um, well, thanks. It's back to just being me in this live stream again, which is okay. But I'll probably come back on and do a few more practice questions for myself and a few so that my chicken doesn't burn. But yeah, this is part one then of how are your New Year's resolutions going?